6 a.m. I have been up since 4:45 today on my rooftop here in New York. Cup of coffee in hand, sunrise in the background. You know what that means. Normally when I start a video on my rooftop, it's the start of a travel series. My name is Erik Conover and I am a world traveler who lives here in New York City. In this video, I am traveling from New York to Sweden. My first time ever in Sweden. With that, this is the start of the Sweden travel series. A quick 12 hours later and I have arrived in the center of Gothenburg, a city in West Sweden. Over the next week, I will be exploring the historic and beautiful coastline of West Sweden and celebrating my first ever Midsummer. This travel series is in partnership with the Tourism Board of West Sweden, the city of Gothenburg, and Volvo Cars USA. For this road trip around West Sweden, we needed a solid car. Now, I wasn't aware of this before this trip, but if you live in the United States and you purchase a new Volvo, they have an overseas delivery program that will actually fly you and a friend round trip to Sweden to pick up your brand new Volvo, including a place to stay in Gothenburg by the factory. So of course the first thing we did yesterday when we arrived was go to the Volvo headquarters, where we got an exclusive tour of the Volvo factory. We got to experience every single aspect of the car building and assembly line process. It's one of those things, you know, seeing the inside of a modern car factory, it's a very unique experience that not many people get to see. The level of pure detail that goes into something like a car, which we use so heavily in our daily life without even realizing it. A big part of the reason I came on this trip was to experience this overseas delivery program firsthand. After the factory tour, we picked up our Volvo XC60, which is our vehicle of choice that we will be using on our road trip through West Sweden. The mission on our trip is simple.
1, 2, 3, go!
To fully experience and immerse ourselves in the culture of a country that we all know very, very little about. On this trip, I'm not solo. I am joined by the one and the only Mr. Mike Sheffer and manager Jared.
I'm the first mate.
But first things first, we are starting this video series here in Gothenburg with the top things to experience in the city. You're probably thinking to yourself, where is Gothenburg? So the city is located on the west coast of Sweden. It's relatively small and it's best experienced by foot. My initial thoughts were that it's a very relaxing city, especially compared to Stockholm or a few other cities that I've been to in Europe. Start the day off with a fika, which is basically a Swedish term for having coffee and some sort of snack, a sandwich or some sweets. One of the most popular coffee shops in Gothenburg is Damateo. We're here right now and they're known for their coffee and for these guys right here. It's a traditional cinnamon bun, but it's made with sourdough, so it kind of gives it the extra oomph.
They have the roasters right in here. They have all the burlap sacks with all the beans and they're super nice. They know their coffee here, so.
And you know Mike Sheffer knows coffee. When you come to West Sweden, you're gonna have a lot of fish. For lunch, I highly recommend Restaurant Gabriel at the Fish Church. Yes, the Fish Church, which is a market hall that only sells fish and seafood. It's called the church because, well, it resembles a church. As we found out later on this trip, respect of the sea and fishing are traditions that run deeply in West Swedish culture. We are about to go meet the owner of the Restaurant Gabriel, and I heard he's a pretty cool guy.
Hi guys, my name is Johan Malm, born and raised in Gothenburg, two-time world champion in shucking oysters.
That's right, the two-time world champion in shucking oysters. And in the land where fishing rules all, one would say he's a pretty famous guy. Since it's almost a Midsummer celebration, we had a shot of schnapps and herringfish on a flatbread with some garnish, which actually tasted amazing. It was my first time ever trying herring, along with a traditional fish soup. By far, the most famous attraction in all of Gothenburg is the amusement park. The park opened in 1923 and is one of the most visited amusement parks in Scandinavia. Mike decided to try to win a prize and play some games.
It's harder than it looks.
He failed pretty miserably. I don't have many vices in this life besides sweets. Cotton candy is my kryptonite, and I stuffed my face with cotton candy. And right across from the amusement park is one of the most unique places that I've seen in all my travels. We just got to our hotel. We had no idea this was even here. There is a pool on the 20th floor of the Upper House Hotel where we're staying. Look straight down. That is the highway below me. We are in a glass box swimming pool on the top of this hotel. You don't realize that you are in a see-through pool until you look down and you see the traffic on the streets below you. Very, very cool. Amazing views of the park. For dinner, the dining in Gothenburg is incredible. Indulge and treat yourself to some fine dining. We're going to a Michelin star rated restaurant. What are your thoughts?
I'll let my outfit do the talking.
Would you look at this stud's outfit? You do look very nice. Jared, your thoughts? First time?
Never been to a Michelin star restaurant before. Very excited. Big foodie. You can tell by my waistline.
We are in the restaurant, but I'm not trying to vlog in here just because it's very fancy. But look at our food so far. Gothenburg is the gateway to the islands of western Sweden. There are over 8,000 islands off the coast of West Sweden, and they are the place to be during Midsummer celebration. It is just about 8 o'clock in the morning. We are going to catch a ferry to the islands, and it's pretty amazing. All the major cities in Sweden are ghost towns during Midsummer. This is the night before we left. The street was empty. Now, if you don't know, Midsummer is arguably the largest holiday in Sweden. I mean, everyone celebrates Midsummer. To experience a traditional Midsummer, that's the main reason why we came out to Sweden. We are actually celebrating a very traditional Midsummer with a family who is kind enough to let us join in on their celebrations, which you will see in episode 2 of the Swedish Travel Series. And with that, I will see you in the next video where we celebrate Midsummer.